Welcome to the Obelisk. Now, not many of you know this, but I was in fact raised in a cult, not a doomsday group on a remote compound. There were no robes, no Kool-Aid, just rules, control, and secrets. And I didn't know it until years later. Since then, I've met others, people who escaped, people still trapped and swear they're free, while living under someone else's spell. So tonight I need to ask you something. What if you're in a cult and you just don't know it? Because cults don't always look like cults. Sometimes they look like love. It might feel like a real purpose. It might even feel like the truth. Something others are just far too blind to be able to see. So let's tear the mask off and let's ask, what really makes a cult a cult? Sorry to interrupt your video. This is the part of the video where I ask you to subscribe. Subscribe. Thanks. Back to the video. The dictionary definition. Most definitions of cult sound neutral at first glance. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a cult is a religion regarded as unorthodox or spurious, or more technically, a system of religious veneration and devotion directed to a particular figure or object. But that's vague, because by that definition, even early Christianity or Buddhism or political movements, they could all be considered cults. So when we use the word today, we're usually not just talking about belief. We're talking about the control, the danger and manipulation, the bite model. To really identify a cult, we need better tools, like the bite model by psychologist Hassan, a former cult member turned expert on undue influence. The bite stands for behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. If a group scores high in all four, it's probably a very destructive cult. So let's break those down briefly. Behavior control could be what you wear, what you eat, what you're allowed to say, where you go, or even who you are allowed to talk to. Think shunning practices, only dating within the group. The information control, or this could be censorship, forbidden books, don't talk to outsiders, only look at approved material that we provide, don't trust the information outside of the group. Thought control, this thought-stopping cliche, doubt is from Satan. Don't question the leadership. Don't cause dissent. They might even have double meanings for words. Sounding benign, however, when you peel back the layers, it's controlling how you think by associating the group with good and those who are outside of the group as bad. Emotional control could be shame, fear, guilt, the fear of losing your family if you decide to leave or speaking out against the group. The world is ending, you better get in or stay in whilst you still have the chance, or FOMO. Think of your children. You see, you don't need chains when your mind is the prison. Famous cults. Let's take this framework and put it to the test. We'll look at one of the most infamous cults in modern history, the People's Temple, led by Jim Jones. We're not diving in for shock value here. We're looking at structure. Let's see how this group compares to both the dictionary and the bite model. The People's Temple. Jim Jones started a dream of equality, integration, justice. But by the time of the 1978 Jonestown massacre, over 900 people were dead, murdered or coerced into drinking the Kool-Aid. How did it fit the bite model though? For behaviour, members had to give up homes, jobs and identities. The information? Jones controlled letters, phone calls, even what news they read. For thought, Jones became the only voice of truth. And emotion, they were told leaving meant betraying God and damning everyone they loved. The quote, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," came from this group. It wasn't just about poison, it was about control. Kind of morbid when you think about it. The People's Temple started as a church, ended as a warning. So, could you be in a cult? I've left it rather vague because it's down to your own personal choice to be able to reflect inwardly to determine this. So now it's time to ask the uncomfortable question. Are you in a cult? If they control what you do, what you know, what you think, and how you feel, then they might not even call themselves a cult. But that's what they are. Here's the truth. Being in a cult doesn't make you dumb. It doesn't make you weak. In fact, it's often the opposite. Smart, curious, emotionally open people are more vulnerable because we want meaning, we want connection, and someone always wants to sell it to us, sometimes at a terrible price. So don't let anyone dictate your behaviour, restrict your access to truth, or override your thoughts, or manipulate your emotions. Sometimes those who are in them for the long run can get the sunken cost fallacy. Sometimes outsiders who see and try to break the trains trigger a backfire effect, where they double down and triple down on it. For people who have been in for generations, you're not only questioning their position, but it can be seen as you calling them dumb, their friends fools, their parents naive, their grandparents were easily manipulated. That's why it can be so dangerous, because they mentally lock themselves in this cage, and you might not have the key. All you can do is show love and compassion until they decide to leave the cave and realise the shadows that they saw on the walls are just that, imitations of reality. So if we can learn the signs, we can protect ourselves, and when we talk about strange groups in future episodes, we'll ask a question: is it just weird or is it dangerous? Let me know in the comments, have you ever escaped a controlling group? How did you recognise it? Sources are below, please read them, especially if something here struck a nerve. Religious trauma is real and can take you down a dark and lonely path. Seek help from trained professionals if you need to. Reach out to those who have been in your position before and left, as more often than not, they tend to create their own support networks, and they'll understand more than anyone what you're going through. Like, subscribe, and take back your voice. Stay curious, stay free, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. Thanks for watching. Take care.